Just almost.
Dang.
Say at 100 subscribers on YouTube, we make video, do video podcast
There you go.
at 100 subscribers, and then I'll try and get this out to all the other RSS feeds.
Oh yeah, we still need to do that.
Yeah,
That was kind of my thing. I had to figure out. I need to do that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
all
Well,
right.
you tasked me with that, and then I was like, oh yeah. And then
I wasn't
but
sure
yeah.
if I did or not, and then I was like,
I think
all
you
right.
did. Yeah. I need to. Yeah. I. That's one of those things that I'm technically inclined, so I feel like that's something I should have already learned a long time ago, but I don't know anything about it. But yeah.
Oh, getting it on the feeds.
Yeah, just I don't really fully understand.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if somebody Googled RSS feeds right now and was like reading the thing, I would probably I'd be able to follow along and be like, oh, okay, I get it. But I'm not sure.
I'm not even sure how it works. If it just goes, if you upload it to what? Is it? If you just upload it to Spotify, you can use that for the rest of them.
Well, you still have to do something with an RSS feed, I think, to get it to work with the other ones. But you can do it. You can put it on. There's it's changed now. It was just Spotify, like podcast or whatever, and then they changed the name. Or no. Sorry, that's what it is now. Is like Spotify Podcasters or Spotify Podcast or something is the name of the app now.
Oh, is it the Purple Podcasters app?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was. What was the fucking name before? It was super popular.
Oh.
I don't know if they got acquired by Spotify or if it was always owned by Spotify, but it was some
It's like
other
a podcasting channel, right?
Yeah, it's like a podcasting platform just to record. Oh, Anchor. There we go.
Yeah,
Anchor. That's what it was before. And now it's
Anchor.fm.
Yes.
That is correct. So, if you're
RSS
listening to
feed.
this, it doesn't really affect you because I don't think you're going to switch. But
Okay, here we go. Because I had to, because I'm curious. RSS, really simple syndication, is what it stands for, is a web feed that allows users and applications to access updates to websites in a standardized computer-readable format. Subscribing to RSS feeds can allow a user to keep track of many different websites in a single news aggregator, which constantly monitors sites for new content, removing the need for the... Oh, okay, I see. So it's it's basically like a widget that is embedded into a website. Well, that's the old way it would have been used, right? It's like a widget that's embedded into a website that basically is pulling in from another website kind of, or something like that. Okay.
Like a plugin?
Yeah. I get it now. I mean, I don't know how to use it yet, but I understand what it is now.
All right. Really simple syndication.
Yeah.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
All right, nice.
Yeah.
I was just wondering how the first program got made, how they had the first screen and then the first number to go on the screen.
Oh, yeah.
And how that all worked. The first binaries.
Well, they did. They used to have punch cards. That's how they used to do it. They literally had punch cards that they would feed in, and I think it was just related to the amount of light that would get through or something. It was literally as manual as it gets, and that would be it was all obviously binary, and then at a certain point the punch cards stopped being necessary, and it became you could just type into a terminal. You could
What were you programming?
What do you
the
mean?
first time or the first punch cards or whatever, what were they doing?
I don't know, all kinds of shit. I mean, they pretty much. I mean, you could kind of do. Everything was obviously text based. Everything was just a terminal. So it's just if you open up, this is getting nerdy, but I fucking like it. If you for all the listeners out there, if you don't know what I'm talking about, if you go on to if you're on Mac, I think you can hit probably Control. Command Alt, whatever the fucking weird keys are, T or something. I think it probably is a shortcut. There's a terminal you can open up. You can probably find it on there. And if you're on Windows, you can just hit the Windows key and search for terminal or a command prompt. If people are probably familiar with that or have seen that, that's what all computers used to be back in the day. There was no graphics. It was just fucking text on a screen. It was just a terminal, and you typed into it.
The green text and the
basically
dark background, yeah.
But you would just type it in there, and then it used to be that everything was programmed in the language that computers understand, which is binary. So people would literally have to write out binary stuff to to basically send instructions to the processor and all these things, right, to do stuff. And then eventually they created, they realized that, well, wouldn't it be easier if we made like a human readable version of this that's like a little easier to do? And so then they created what's known as assembly. And there's all kinds of assembly languages for, like, if you have like a Game Boy has assembly language that's specific to that processor, right? There's like ones that are specific to like an Intel processor that is common in computers. There's all kinds of assembly languages, but they're written for that particular like chip. And it's a way to, like, instead of writing like literal binary stuff, you can write like little commands like push and move and all these things, and then like use the addresses, and you can basically, or well, they're called registers, and you can basically like move and like you can say like store values and retrieve values and do all this stuff. And so it's basically the same exact thing. It's a line by line instruction feed for the computer to understand, but the programmer gets to use kind of human readable looking words instead of just purely binary. And then that elevated even further. That was further abstracted when they created languages like C, which is like they would just make a compiler. And a compiler, I can't believe I'm explaining all this right now. I don't care. A compiler is like a thing that a compiler is a program that takes one sort of text and translates it into another text. So you basically, they then created an even more human readable stuff, right? Which would be something like C. And you write, this is like more like modern programming languages now, right? Where you write some sort of code, and then the compiler takes all that and it basically converts it into the end result as binary. So it takes out that whole, it abstracts it all away, so you don't have to even write individual instructions anymore. You can now write individual instructions, but you can also kind of have more complicated structures where you can loop and you can do all these different things. And then if you've heard of like languages like Python, which is like a popular language today, that was then written in C. So somebody wrote, the original guy, Guido van Rossum or whatever, he in the 80s made Python, and it's everything from binary onwards. After they started with assembly and then C, everything is basically new languages, and then languages are just compilers that are written in a language. And here's the trippy part, is because a compiler is just a computer program, right? Its job is just to convert one like form of like one sort of text into a different type of text, like one language into another language, right? And so the real trippy thing is, you want to know what C is written in?
B.
Nice guess. I would understand why someone would say it. C,
or B plus,
as it currently stands, is written in C. And I know you're thinking, what the fuck? That makes no sense.
C++.
That's another one. That's another language. That's based on, it's C++ is basically Bjarne Stroustrup, who I hope I said his name right, who made C++. He wanted to basically take C but implement a concept called classes. He wanted to create an object-oriented programming,
Marxist.
but be C. Yeah, exactly.
He's a Marxist.
Fucking Marxist, Leninist. I don't know. I'm just talking shit. Stalin. I don't know. I'm just gonna say random shit. But yeah, it's all, but like, C is implemented in C, but it wasn't at first, right? It was implemented in like all these different assembly languages, right? And they would make each chip, each processor would have a compiler for C, so that you could write for each thing. You just write in C and it would run on anything basically, because they would have a compiler for every architecture.
Like a Google Translate?
Yeah, kind of. We'll call it that. And but then after that, though, since it's just a compiler is just a program, right? You can theoretically, once you've created the compiler, now you could just like re-implement that in that language now. So now, like, that's like a test that a lot of languages go through, is they make a language, and then that first thing they do then is like, okay, well, now that we've got this stable language, now we're going to re-implement it in itself. Like, it's very fucking trippy. But yeah, there's your crash course in understanding programming languages.
Still very confused.
Yeah, you should be confused. Holy shit! Yeah, we're 10 minutes in now. That was a waste of time.
That's all fucking. Good.
That's what you get when you put Zach Metzler on a podcast. It's bad.
I did always like making websites back when I was younger, just on
hell yeah,
Notepad, then save it as a
HTML file.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then before the editors and before
Yeah.
WordPress and all that, or like Dreamweaver, I think.
Yeah, that was my first foray into programming. Basically, that like got me excited about computers. Is that I remember like my sister's boyfriend was super nerdy, and he made his own website and he wrote it all in HTML. Like because there were like drag and drop kind of like easy to use like editors back in the day that you could people could kind of cheat and just or at least I like to think of it as cheating. It's like whatever, that's bullshit, that's the easy way. But he opened up Notepad one day and he wrote this huge thing, and he had a little JavaScript in there, and he made this huge website with all this stuff, and it had these fancy graphics, and he showed me. He opened it up. I will never forget the day that he was like, check it out. And he showed me the website, and then he opened it up in Notepad, and I read, he was scrolling through, and I was reading the HTML code, not knowing what it means or whatever. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, my brain exploded, because I was like, it had never occurred to me that you could get on a computer and you just open up a text editor and then type in like instructions to the computer and make it do stuff. I was like, that's fucking wild.
Yeah.
It felt like magic.
That is pretty crazy.
It was pretty weird. Yeah.
I did the same thing. I'd probably not as in depth, but it was always on Notepad. It was like you do what are those called? The less than greater than signs, like title.
Oh yeah, the angle
title,
brackets
the
and stuff.
BR for the
Yeah.
BIU is old. S was, I think S for the strike through was just coming out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. But it was on, I think, Hypermart, GeoCities, and Angel Fire. Angel Fire, me and my friend had
Yeah.
was one of the top ranked Pokemon websites in the world at the time in 1998.
Yeah.
It was www.3.
Nice.
MB2/Mew3 or is it MB/Mew3? I forget, but it was a lot of fun. It was pretty cool. It's like we learned how to do the tags and all that, the keyword tags, and Marty did. But shout out Marty Barrett. Maybe you'll hear this. Talk about a little. Always said, was it funny? We went to grade school and stuff together, and every like couple years,
Yeah.
we'd send each other just like the link, the URL to the website, just
Right.
do a little LOL on that. But
Dude,
It's
I
funny.
love the old internet when it was like GeoCities websites and all this stuff. Like it was just like the internet.
I'll never forget the day that I took a picture from from one website and put it on my website. I was like, holy shit, this is the craziest thing ever. I'll never forget. It was like a Charmander or something like that.
Yeah,
Like all
yeah.
that old 8-bit Pokemon.
Right.
It was really fun. Yeah, just go back into that. Bring those back.
Yeah, that's like I feel like kids now. Oh god, it's like I'm turning into that guy. They're like the kids now, the youth. I don't think they realize how wild west like the internet was. It wasn't like, because now it's like literally. I mean, it changes all the time, up and down, the amount of websites that people. But okay, everyone, you get on your phone, you open up the Facebook app or Instagram or Snapchat, all these things. These are basically like, at the end of the day, these are all websites essentially. That's pretty much what they are. They're just in a streamlined, nice little format that's like, in a native like application on your phone, but it's basically accessing a server and it's accessing this web content, right? I mean, that's basically what it is. If you go to open your Facebook app, it's the same principle as just going to on a laptop or something and typing www.facebook.com. I mean, you're just accessing it in an easier way. That's kind of the simpleton way of saying it, I suppose. It's more complicated.
I still do that. I still don't have Facebook app, but
yeah,
I go on Facebook on my
that's probably a good
Chrome
idea.
browser.
Yeah.
Browser on my phone. Yeah. Anyways,
but yeah, no, it used to be like, instead of being like 4 fucking websites that everyone uses, there was like hundreds, thousands of websites. You would just go on search engines and you'd look up stuff and you would just stumble upon some guy's page that he made.
yeah, they used to have search engine rankings too. I remember you could get a rank
Right.
for all the different, like what you were on this search website ranking thing. I forget what it was. Man, that was so much fun. Anyways.
Yeah, SEO used to be a huge thing. Search engine optimization. Yeah, it was like the big thing was trying to get like discovered better by like trying to do certain things with your website that would make it more friendly for like the crawlers that the search engine uses to like find and index your website and whatever, Yeah, that was like a big deal. I don't think it really matters much anymore because now it's the algo. It's all about pleasing the algorithm gods.
I think that was an algorithm back then too, though.
Well, yeah.
I started to think about that. I think the algorithm's just it. Like the algorithm's the universe, right?
Right.
The universe will bring you what you need when you need it.
Right. Yeah, it's weird. It's funny that like algorithms become popular to talk about now, but like it is absolutely true that like, yeah, I mean, there's all kinds of algorithms in computer programming that's been used for a long time. It's just now we're keenly aware of it because we have to be, because like it's become so unbelievably complicated the ways in which it's organizing data and serving up data, it's become so complicated that now it affects our lives. It used to be that algorithms affect our lives in small ways where you didn't notice that what was happening. It was just just some code that was serving up a website or doing something, and it was just simple, very simple kind of things like, MySpace. I imagine like the algorithms for not much to do there. It's not like the new web where everything is like recommended content and all this stuff, and it's like paying attention to all this stuff of like how long you're looking at stuff and all that, like before you scroll again. Like there's all kinds of data points now that are being used that makes it way, way more complicated than it ever used to be.
Yeah, something consistently and like quality, and then having some sort of audience. Is that just tapping into the algorithm? Is like those three. Like you watch all these weird videos on YouTube about like 2 hours of how to like hack the algorithm. It's like maybe it's just like just doing something.
Oh sure, yeah. Well, it's like it usually comes down to like the algorithm is complicated, but like the way to interact with it or to get it to to benefit you in some way, right? That is kind of like pretty simple usually to some degree. And it's always about, I think the number one thing across the board, like if you're trying to like get discovered out there, I feel like the number one thing that it's been this way for a long time, and it still is this way. If you're like, the little tiny things might change of like, well, what kind of thumbnail should I use? All these like little details, those things all maybe matter sometimes, but the number one thing that has always mattered and still matters, and I think probably will always matter when it comes to social media and getting discovered and whatever, getting into the algorithm, it's engagement. That's like the number one thing, is getting people to comment and react and all that. The more people that are watching and commenting and reacting, like that's how you're going to get served up to random people.
Yeah.
Better. That's the number one thing you got to do. And that's the thing we got to do, Matt Ferry, with this podcast. We need to be discovered. We need to get our faces out there.
Chuck Norris to see it.
Yeah, we need Chuck Norris to see it and be like, those guys are pretty cool.
I remember autographing that card back 20 years ago. But yes, how are we going to grow the podcast called Pardon My Growth?
Exactly. This is all about growing the growth. How do you grow? And pardon my attempts at trying to do so and get this podcast out there. You're going to have to, sorry you had to see that.
Sorry I had to see that Austin Ingalls episode cut 45 minutes is all. Sorry. But if you can get through that, there's a lot more content. David Collins responded. He must have listened to one of the podcasts. I think podcast 6, where we were talking about possibly a network with him.
Oh, yeah.
Or a network with other things, because he
Right.
posted on the YouTube channel.
Oh, nice.
It's like maybe it said something like a network does seem interesting or something like that. So
yeah.
maybe I think that's a key to growth through, is networking with just different.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just think there's a lot of good things that'll happen if just network and stuff and get with see what everybody brings, because everybody wants to make it big, but everybody also just, if you chip in what you can chip in,
right,
you can just like harness that, or like, I don't know, if somebody just wants to do X, just let them do X. Like if they want to do graphics, let them do the graphics for the entire network.
Well, it feels like the cool thing about a network in like the modern web is that like if you have a network of podcasts and content or whatever, and like you get some people that are like interested in one of them, right? It's going to like be a lot easier, not just because like maybe it's from the same channel or something like that. It's not even that. It's just it's gonna be because the algorithm is gonna see all that stuff, right? It's like whatever the name of the network is, it's gonna see that everywhere and stuff. And then like it's going to like your stuff, if it's part of the same network, it's obviously going to get like recommended to people, right? And so if like one thing pops, it kind of like helps others get that exposure to pop as well. And yes, it's like an obvious like a beneficial thing for everybody to kind of network together. Yeah, I don't know that.
But also like seeing like different people on different network or podcasts is always fun too. Like I don't know, I'm a big Matt and Shane Secret podcast fan. That's like pretty much the only podcast I watch. But then there's also like within that there's those two, and then there's also like Tommy Pope or like a Chris what's his name?
Williamson?
No. Oh, I hate that guy. I don't know why. I just hate British accents. I hate British podcasters, just like the Diary of a CEO guy. I hate Chris because they always just like, I don't know, it's like Ricky Gervais and all that. Just the English accents. Like, you're not fucking.
Stop trying to be clever, you bitch.
Yeah, I hate you. You're not smart. You sound smart because you have a different accent. And people love it. Say that in a Jamaican accent.
funny.
I bet you people won't like it so much.
Yeah, probably get pretty upset.
Yeah. Ah, fuck, what's his name?
Dude, it's funny. Like, what if you're just a Jamaican guy? And so you have a Jamaican accent, and people are like, you can't do that.
Oh, he can do it for sure, but yeah. I'm just saying those British guys won't sound so smart if they're speaking Jamaican.
Right.
Jamaican a language?
I have no idea, to be honest. Oh boy, this is how we get canceled. Is Jamaican a language? I don't know.
But anyways,
Jamaican be crazy. Okay, sorry, that was a dumb pun.
Like, all their friends on the Matt and Shane's have their own podcast. So it's like, then you start seeing them like cross and stuff like that. And it's really cool to see like, oh shit, this is just one dimension of this person. There's another dimension.
Yeah.
Another dimension. So.
Dude, I love the small world connection stuff where you see like in comedy, it seems to, especially these days, it happens a lot. You'll see people that aren't even comedians that you'll follow, and then randomly they'll be like, oh, they did a fucking comedy podcast, or like you'll see them collaborate with different people, and you're like, that's pretty cool. Like, I like that feeling when like you know of one thing that's like one part of your brain, and there's a different part of your brain that likes this other thing, and then suddenly those two people collaborate, and you're like, whoa, I never thought I'd see
like,
these two
shit.
together.
Yeah.
Yeah, it always feels like this crazy thing, but you have to remind yourself that like, well, hang on, if you're like a popular content creator and then there's another popular content creator, it's not that crazy that they would like know of each other or find out of each other, and then whatever, but like it's still it's fun.
The networks of everybody they have, it's always it's pretty interesting.
The official language of Jamaica is English, but they also speak Jamaican, so that must be a language then, or Patois or Patois. I have no idea how to say that. I think they're not saying or that, like as in that's a different language. I think they're saying that's also another name for it. So Jamaican, or it's also known as Patois or Patois or something like that. I'm probably butchering it.
Say it with an accent.
Patois. I don't know. Fuck. I don't even know what that was. I just tried to put some spin on it.
You're the martyr. You're the martyr for this podcast.
A colorful, descriptive, and emphatic Creole dialect that has been shaped by our African, Spanish, French, Portuguese, and English colonial heritage. Yeah, so I mean, those bitches got colonized. That's everyone, right? Yeah. Everybody got colonized by everybody. Well, okay, I like how I'm spreading that out. Like, there's not a few particular nations that really colonized the fuck out of a lot of places, like fucking Spain. Yeah. And we fucking did a lot of shit, dude.
Well, speaking of Keokuk, the other day when I was in Keokuk, you know when you have these like thoughts, whatever, and they stick with you, and it's like, you know exactly when you have this memory of a thought, or like you're listening to a certain song, you know exactly where you were, what was going on in your life. The other day I was driving through Keokuk, and did you go to that park in Keokuk?
I don't think so.
There's like this big park, and it's by the river, and it shows the river and stuff like that. Or like even on the way down there, did you go past Nauvoo, which is a big white temple on the left, if you saw it all? It was on the Illinois side, probably 10 minutes before Keokuk. It's like the Mormon Mecca.
Oh, this sounds familiar. I saw some sort of religious symbol or something that I remember like kind of barely clocking in my head, like, oh, look at that.
Yeah, like it looked like a big white house. Almost like a White House. Yeah. But I was like, man, what's this place going to be like in 300, 400, 500 years? Like, will it be literally just another country in the U.S.? Will it just not be the U.S. anymore? Will it be like, I was just having that random thought in my head. It's kind of like you were talking about there.
Right. Yeah, that happens. That fucking happens.
So yeah, the Keokuk might be colonized too in the future. A couple hundred years from now. That's what I was getting at.
Those bitches need to get colonized, dude.
So you had a showdown in Keokuk. How'd that go?
Yeah, it was fucking weird, but it was fun. Shout out to Black Sails. It's a bar. It's a pirate bar. Shout out to Trish. That's her name, right? Trish. Sorry, Trish. Pretty sure that's your name.
How'd you get booked for this?
Summer Dawn. She messaged me and was like, "Hey, you gotta." Yeah, it is Trish. Okay. Yeah, I knew it was Trish. I know you, Trish. I know you now. I've met you one time. Yeah, Black Sails Pirate Bar. That's what it is. You should go check it out. It's a little divey, little dirty, dingy bar. I like stuff like that sometimes, though. I like dive bars. It's like a Family Guy reference.
Yeah.
Where they're like, I like dive bars. Yeah, so do I. Like, I don't remember because worse is better. Or bad is good.
They kind of look like LPs, like a bar like that. Kind of like a dive.
Nah, dingier. Yeah. You know what it was like? It was like a smaller. It kind of reminded me of octopus, but like way smaller.
Oh,
it's
nice.
like a really small, micro-sized like octopus.
Keep it
Except for they
nautical
didn't have
theme.
they don't have a stage in there though. We did outside. They have a patio,
Oh,
and we
nice.
had like a. It was kind of like a wedding reception type of setup, right? Like just someone brought in speakers and a mic stand and whatever, right? They just like set up a little stage area, and we kind of just did it out on that patio. But
Nice. Is Summer there too?
no, I'm not sure what the connection is there. If she was like involved in trying to set this show up, or if she knows somebody, I'm not really sure. I just know she reached out to me at one point. It was like, "Hey, are you available on this date to host?" Well, actually, she said the wrong date first, and I was like, "Oh, I just want to embarrass Summer right now in case she hears this podcast later. I want to make her like blush and feel like dumb. I love you, Summer, but it'd be fun. I just like making people suffer." No, she had said that. Oh, that was the wrong. I scrolled back too far. She had asked if I was interested in hosting a show in Keokuk, and I said when, and she was like, "Oh right, duh, I literally forgot. Let me go check my calendar." Like she didn't tell me when. She's like, "Hey, do you want to do the show?" I'm like, I guess. When is it?" And she's like, "Oh, duh." And then she's like, "Saturday, April 6th," and then I had to check if I was available, whatever. And then I asked what time it was. Blah blah blah. Oh, and then this was the thing, and I was like, I asked when she needed to know the answer by, right? And she was like, "Oh, by Sunday, I guess maybe. Like that seems reasonable." And I was like, "I think you gave me the wrong date. Sunday would be after the show if it's a 6th, because like that next Sunday was going to be beyond that or something." And she's like, "Oh," and she meant the 13th, and. I don't know. It was a lot funnier when it happened to me.
Yeah.
Now it just sounds dumb when I'm saying it. But yeah, she doofus got the wrong date, dummy. And then we got the right date, and then I did the show. It was fun.
It was a good show though. Mike Adralis was featuring.
Yeah.
Nice. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's very funny.
And who else was there? Who was headlining?
Andy Hartley was headlining.
Where's he
I
out of?
just met him. I don't know where he's out of. I think he's from Iowa. I know that because I remember he talked about that. And he lived in LA for a little bit. And I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I didn't ask him. I'm wondering if he's one of those comics that like went out to LA for a while and then the pandemic happened and it was like fuck and then left or whatever and then is now back here. I'm not really
Seems
sure.
like a few people have gone to LA from Iowa.
Yeah.
Seems like that's place to go.
Yeah. There you go.
Yeah. It's like that side of the Mississippi. The other side you have to go to New York.
Right.
Yeah, did you do any other how are the mics Tuesday and Thursday at Lucky Cat? I was up in Duluth for work, but
Yeah.
I wasn't able to go to that. How was it?
You're talking about IBC?
Yeah. Sorry, what did I say? Lucky Cat?
Yeah.
Oh, right on. All right.
I mean, same thing, kind of, but yeah.
Yeah.
That was on Tuesday. I think it was good. That might have been. There was a mic that
Was Dylan hosting?
we had recently. Yeah, Dylan hosted and Dylan Wenzel. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. It was pretty good. I might be getting them confused. There was a mic recently that was exceptionally good. Like everyone had really good sets for. Like it just. I don't think it was this last one though. I think it was the one before probably.
Oh,
you were probably at that one actually.
Yeah.
There was a mic that stands out that it was like I just remember like everyone was having great sets. It was just like it was really good.
Was it the second time we had the stage on the other side at Iowa Brewing?
Maybe. I feel like
they
it
had
might have been after that. This is really good podcasting material, by the way. I actually, you know what? Fuck that. Actually, it probably is. Because I've noticed in comedy podcasts, every time someone's like, "Oh, this is boring. Nobody wants to hear." Now, granted, these are like usually professional comedians that are like have a lot of experience and stories to tell and whatever. So that's probably different. But it's just I always notice it's funny when they're always like, "Oh, this is like inside baseball stuff, or this is like nobody wants to hear us talk about this. And to me, those are always the most fun part. Like I like those moments in the podcast. Like
Like
just,
when you're doing it, you're like in your head, you're like, get to the fucking point.
yeah, right. But that's like those
But if
things
you're
can
listening,
actually
you're
be
just
like
like-
the interesting thing
Yeah.
instead of the stuff that you think was interesting. or
But if you're
whatever. I
just
don't know.
listening, you're just hanging out.
Yeah. It was April 2nd. What's today? 14th? Yeah. I don't know. April 2nd. I know because I just looked because I sent a message to Cassandra Johnson and I was
Oh.
like, oh, awesome set tonight or whatever. And that's the date. April 2nd, I guess. I don't know. Yeah, everyone fucking killed that night. It was weird because it's like a lot of times
Who's
people
hosting
don't.
that? Summer was hosting that night too, I think.
I think so.
Yeah. You were sitting on the couch.
What's that?
You guys were sitting on the couches
Yeah.
about the
Yeah.
Cedar Falls guys.
Yeah. Yep. That's my. I think that's my new spot out there. Is one of the well, there's two sets of couches or whatever. As either one, I guess the one that's closer to the stage is better. But if it's not available, then whatever, do that one. But I think that's my new spot. I always have to have a spot. But now because the stage is different, and then like just that table that I normally would sit at, or like the long table, it's like you can't really see the stage very good from there.
Yeah.
I also don't really want to sit at the bar. This is not my thing.
No.
And then so that kind of leaves the couches as like kind of the obvious choice.
Do you need a spot? A
Yeah.
spot that you know is yours and nobody else can take it. I just
Yeah.
always show up like 5 minutes late, so I'm always in a panic, but
Yeah.
that's my go-to.
Yeah.
Just got like, all right, I'm going to sneak in here, but having a spot's kind of nice. Except for when like somebody takes it. It's the worst.
It's fucking bullshit, dude.
Especially it's like, hey, come on. Move. But you can't say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Monday I did a open mic because I had to go to Des Moines
Mm-hmm.
early Tuesday or whatever. So Monday, I looked it up. It was called Lefties in Des Moines, and it was a
Sorry. That was just an acknowledgement. Oh, I've heard of that place.
I'm super interested in what you were saying.
Oh, you know what it is? They do music and stuff there.
Yeah, I think it's a music bar. It's like Octopus. I'm
Yes.
pretty sure.
So I have a brother. My family used to foster him and his siblings, and they're not adopted.
Yeah.
But they're just.
I got you.
I consider him a brother because our childhoods coincided together at one point for a while, and yeah, it was like he's my
Fun
brother.
fact, he's here and he does not. No, I'm just kidding. He does not
But
reciprocate. No, I'm
he
just kidding.
does he does music, and he's performed there before. He does hip hop,
nice.
and so he's performed at Lefties. I think is one of the places he's been.
Yeah, Lefties is it's a
I've
lot
never
like
been there,
a lot like Octopus, but there were 15-minute. Well, 2 years ago when I lived in Des Moines, I went to it one night on Monday night to watch it, and it was like a comedy open mic. So I'm like, cool. So I kind of know one person I was going there. So I text him like, hey, I'm running late. Can you sign me up for it? He's like, yeah, I got you at the 10:15 spot. And I
Right.
get there at like 8 is when it starts. I'm like, okay. There were 15-minute slots. It was-
Wait, hold on. You just said 15-minute slots.
Yeah, for open mic.
What?
And so I was 10:15, so I was like the 9th person to go maybe. But him and his other comedian friend were the first people to go to like
Yeah.
warm people up.
Right.
And so then I get there and it was literally like a dude with a thing just like you have.
Yeah.
The podcast recording thing hooked up to the mic and it was just doing dubstep and he was just standing there. It was like 15 minutes of Skrillex. And I was like, all right. And then this guy, Tom Michelson, I don't know if he's going to listen to this or not, but he's like, hey, you want a climbing kite? So he gives me a climbing kite. I'm like, I better wait. I don't want to get high before this.
Right.
And after then there was a WWE wrestler. I forget what his name, but he's like a short person.
Uh-huh.
Do you know who he is from WWE?
I don't think so.
His YouTube music name's Crisis Child, I think. But I'm like starting to get high. And all of a sudden I see like a midget go on a stage.
Yeah.
I shouldn't say that. I see a short person go on a stage and start doing like
little
angry.
guy. Little fella.
Little dude.
That's
bro.
the better way to say it is condescendingly a little fella.
But he's a WWE wrestler too, which is great. But I'm like, what are the odds? But then it's like,
Yeah.
and after like 3 or 4 people, I'm just like, I'm starting to get like, I don't think I'm in the right place because it's all like this punk metal or like heavy metal and like, or punk rock or like people screaming, just like, and then, I went and told the bartender, I'm like, hey, I think I'm going to not do this. I don't think this.
Yeah.
And he's like, no, man, you have to. I'm like, I don't. He's like, come on. I'm like, okay, yeah. Like, I just need a little bit of validation. I was going to walk. I was really thinking about leaving, but when he's like, no,
Right.
the 15 minutes will pass anyways.
Yeah.
And finally, I'm getting like super nervous now because I think the high is like starting to like come down. I'm just like,
Yeah.
oh shit, what am I actually doing here? I'm starting to get nervous. I see somebody like looking at me. I'm like, oh god, like, and I'm like wearing like my patent and like gray pants, like gray,
Right.
like, not
Just
dress
gray,
pants,
bland,
gray, and,
everything.
like a, dark blue shirt,
Yeah.
maybe in this shirt or something like that.
Sure.
And everybody else is in like ripped black on black and stuff.
Oh,
and I'm
yeah.
just like, oh shit, like. They're throwing coasters. That's what they do is like instead of a tomato throw show, they're just throwing coasters at each other.
Right.
And finally, I'm just like actually very nervous now. They're like, all right, and coming up next is Matt Ferry. And they always fuck my name up. Is it Ferry? I'm like, yeah, it's Ferry. He's like, Ferry. And I'm just like, and there's probably like 40 people there all together. There's only like 5 or 6 people watching at a time because everybody
Right.
else is in the back smoking outside and
Yeah,
stuff like
yeah.
that. And so there's probably, I don't know, maybe 10 people though sitting down and watching me.
Mm-hmm.
And then like 15 people, 20 people came in from the outside. I'm like, oh, great. I'm surrounded by all my high school bullies. Like, a few people walked away after that. But I was like, you know, all these guys, it was hard to explain what these guys look like. But
Yeah.
somebody yelled like, get the fuck off the stage.
Oh, Jesus
Or
Christ.
shut the fuck up or something like that. I forget what they said, but I was just like,
Yeah.
oh, shit. And then I was just like, so get into it. I'm like, you like air fryers? Like, here's some Bible characters for you. I don't know, just stuff like that. But it was kind of funny because I could tell the people that were listening were liking it, and the people that weren't, like some guy, I need to be quicker, and I need to just like say it next time. But there's a guy in this, he's like right to the front right, and he was just throwing coasters at me, and his face was painted white, like Kiss.
Oh, sure. Okay.
And I was like, oh, so you guys like air fryers? Here's the joke about air fryers. And the guy's like, hey, are you so and so? I'm like, what? He's like throwing coasters at me, wearing like white Kiss face with long hair. And he's like, oh, he just makes jokes about that. And in my head, I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, and back to this. But like, as soon as I left, I'm like, I should have fuck called him Kiss. Like,
Yeah.
who the fuck are you, Kiss? Because he was making a joke about. And I was like, I don't know. As soon as that happened, though, I was kind of.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, I got through it all. I stammered so much, but it was funny. And at one point, I thought I was making like this like African guy laugh like hysterically, and I was like, oh sweet, he gets it. And it just got quiet. He's just on his phone talking to somebody.
Oh.
I was just like, oh god. But it was fun. But yeah, I did it, and I don't think I'll ever go back. Maybe I'll go back.
Yeah.
It was kind of fun, but
Yeah.
I think next time will be a little bit more.
Something. So here, if we want to really get inside baseball, get inside Zach's head, I did a thing just before you were talking that story, or just as you were getting into that story, because you were talking about the little person, the thing, the guy, and who's smaller than other people. And I was trying to make a dumb joke out of it, and I was like, you said midget, and you're like, oh, actually, I shouldn't say that. And I was like, yeah, I know, little guy, little fella. And then after that, I was like, because that's the better way, is to like condescendingly say it. And I just realized like I said that, and then I regretted saying that because I'm like, you should have just left it at being like little guy, little fella, because yeah, duh, that is the joke. Is that's condescending as fuck or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I explained it, and I realized that I just did like a joke, and then it explained the joke, and I'm like, that's dumb. You should never do that again.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my brain like editing myself after the fact, being
part of
like,
your growth.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I gotta fucking grow.
You're just doing a couple extra sets today, is all.
Yeah.
It's all good. You'll be for the next time. If anybody's still listening to this, if you are, just say something in the comments, anything at all.
Literally just say anything. Just fucking, I'm going to kill myself if you don't say anything. Oh, shit. Sorry. You should delete that. Or self-deletion. Yeah. You should edit that part out.
Maybe they should
bleep
comment.
it.
Maybe they should comment.
Maybe they should comment.
Maybe somebody should comment. Or just that.
Yeah.
No, but it's funny. Like as soon as you say something wrong in a podcast,
Yeah.
like my immediate like, oh shit, they know they're canceling me. It's like
Right. Even though it's not. Yeah. It's like it's actively being recorded. It's stored on a file on this local thing. And
Yeah.
you're just like, they know.
Yeah.
They found out.
oh shit, he's done how many open mics? It's like TMZ or something like that. We got to get him now. Let's get a picture of him walking now. This is it. This is the time. It's so funny. Like as soon as like or like I get so worried that like my job will hear about it and they're like, actually, you're fired. It's like
Right.
why?
Right.
Because I said midget. It's fine.
No, they just fire you. They'd be like, actually, there was no content that went like that was like you didn't go against company policy or do anything or whatever. They're just like, we just hated it.
Yeah.
Just fuck you, dude. We hated it. It was dumb.
We realize that this is what you put out for that. This is what you're probably putting out for us. So you're
Yeah.
done.
Yeah.
Which is again, if anybody's listening to this, if you want to be in this network, but
Yes.
I was going to bring this up Tuesday. Oh shit! So Tuesday I might have to postpone that podcast with Haley
Oh, okay.
because I just found out I had a work meeting all day Tuesday in Des Moines.
Okay.
So I'm going to find out
Gotcha.
tomorrow what time it is, and then I'll let you know.
Okay.
But yeah, I feel like an idiot unless you just want to do it with her, and then
No, that's fine. We can wait. We said so. We're just gonna push it a week.
yeah,
Do
to
the
the
next
23rd
Tuesday?
probably.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
But I'll confirm, or I don't want to ask her if she wants to do it afterwards. Probably don't either.
Yeah.
So it'd be
Yeah.
too late, or whatever. But
Right.
yeah, that'd be a nice little setup too if we started doing that Tuesdays
Yeah. Yeah.
instead, or added onto this. I don't know, whatever
Yeah.
you want to do.
Yeah. Something like
your
that.
your plate's gonna
Cool.
be filling up soon, so yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, what was I gonna say though? Oh, sketch ideas.
Yeah.
Be like to catch a predator, but it's to catch a podcaster. It's like all the people that shouldn't be doing podcasts that do them. Like
Yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
bros that are like 21 or whatever. And it's like, hey dude, let's meet up. I got the mics. It's like it'd be kind of like the thing, the job. Be like, yo, you're trying to podcast, dude. How about you do your fucking taxes? How about you do this instead? How about you show up to work? So, yeah. Or yeah, it'd be funny too, like transcripts or something like that. Like this is how much, this is what you said to your boss about podcasting, or this,
Right.
like, you said your podcast would be so fire. It's like, or, I don't know, just different things like that.
Yeah. I like that.
Another one I had was like you have to have a white woke liberal woman, and it starts off with she's watching the news, and it's about the illegal immigrants coming in or whatever, and it's like, she's like, oh good, that's so good, that's what we need, like fuck Trump. And so then it like cuts to like there's a leak or something like that in her house or something like that, or the gutter she has outside falls down,
and then an immigrant comes over.
She has to call the company, and like
Right.
sales guy has to go out there. He's like estimates it, all that stuff, and then she starts asking like, so are you going to be doing the work, or is it going to be somebody else? And it's going to be like, well, no, we subcontract. She's like, well, just to let you know, I support illegal immigration. And she has like a sign or something like that.
Right.
But then the day of it comes, is she sees like 5 dudes that don't speak English, and then she tries to communicate with them. She's obviously very off tilt.
Right.
Like this is not going well. She's terrified. She's so scared. But she goes out and starts speaking in Spanish to him and talks to him about being Mexican or something like that. But they're in reality they're Honduran or something like that.
Yeah.
So they're like, fuck this lady. We hate her. She's like, oh my God, they love me. I keep, condescendingly like, agua. Do you want agua?
Right.
Like they wouldn't know what it is. And so it's like all this stuff that builds up, but then they leave and they left, and there's a bunch of like nails and screws on the ground or something like that.
Yeah.
And in real life, what could have possibly happened was there was a bunch of snow and it got in there and they just didn't find them, and then snow melted. But however, it'll be in this. But then she cleans the entire site up in the sketch, of course. She cleans the entire sketch up or set up, or she cleans everything up and all that.
Right.
And she's so afraid that if she tells them, they'll get like deported or something. That's not how it works. And then, I don't know. It's just the whole thing.
Nice.
I don't know if that has anything to it. Maybe. In my head, I have like, how you can start doing it in your head almost like what it looked like.
Right.
It's just like getting that to something.
Yeah.
And it's just like, holy shit, am I retarded? Was that just dumb? It's like the Alex Jones thing we were talking about last time.
Yeah. Oh, was the thing? Oh, you could, you guys, you were talking about like, she like tries to like speak Spanish, and then like they're like Honduran or something. I was thinking about how like when I went to Mexico for my friend's wedding in like 2016, I had that moment. Well, a couple moments while I was down there, I felt really dumb because I was confronted by a situation where I'm like, I don't know. I think like an example was like at one point during the wedding, or like after, like during the reception, actually, they like randomly, it was like after midnight or whatever, right? And they brought out like a taco bar or whatever, and then so I was like at the taco bar like ordering what I wanted, like basically, well, not ordering, it was obviously free, but like saying what I wanted on my tacos, and like I realized like how like my head went through this battle where it's like, okay, on one hand, you're gonna look really like a stupid fucking gringo that they're gonna be like, what the fuck is this guy like poorly speaking Spanish? Like we obviously
Poncheros at 1 a.m. Saturday night.
yeah, right. It's like
all the college students, un por favor, una burrito por favor.
it's like we like we're talking about obviously somebody who is like around like American tourists all the time, and so it's like she obviously is going to, well, not, I shouldn't say obviously, but probably like understands enough English that you don't need to speak Spanish, because like it's like at some fancy place, it's a touristy kind of place, right?
Somebody started referring to this as something other than a can. I think I would pick up on that pretty quick.
yeah.
But I think some people choose not to. No, just kidding.
But like no, yeah, I like I was like so it's gonna sound stupid and like maybe even condescending and just whatever if I like am speaking like broken Spanish, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, I was like, but it feels rude to come in as an American to a place that like where they speak a different language and then be like, you talk in my language. It's like that seems like bullshit.
I feel like Brad head off your Glorious Bastards.
Yeah. It's like, but yeah, it's like I was like, so I went through this battle. Like, do I tell her what I want in Spanish, or do I say it in English and not like to avoid looking stupid? I ended up speaking it in Spanish, but I felt dumb the whole time I was doing it. I was like, oh God, is she like judging me hard right now? And be like, what the fuck is wrong with this guy? Why won't he just, I know that he doesn't speak, like clearly his Spanish sucks. I don't know why he's doing this.
Yeah.
But I was also, I don't know.
Just point.
Yeah. Oh man. I don't remember. I don't think I talked about it on here. Maybe, dude, I apologize.
How was the taco though? Or how was the food?
It was good. Yeah.
Okay, it was good.
Yeah, it was
All
good.
right,
It was
nice.
good. I mean, I was drunk at the time, and it was a long time ago, but I remember it being good.
Like
Yeah.
drunk and half Spanish. Como estás, amigo?
I was at Hy-Vee one day, and I was getting, I don't know, some stuff in the produce section, and then there was gonna be some other stuff. But I'm in the produce section getting whatever I'm getting, and this guy walks up, and he randomly like he is like asking me a question, but he's asking me in Spanish, and he was saying camarones. That's what he was like, but he said it like a question. And then I asked him, I was like, hang on, what? And
Cameras?
Cameras. And he repeated himself. And then I, like a fucking moron, because I don't remember what that word is. So I'm like, oh, hang on a second. So I pulled up my phone and I put into Google to translate. I typed out camarones and then found out it was shrimp. And so I was like, so he's asking me where the shrimp is, basically, right? And then so after that weird exchange where he's watching me after he tried to say something to me, I'm like, hang on. And I'm pulling out my phone to translate. Like after I did that, after that weird moment, I had to tell him that I don't know where the shrimp is, because that was the honest answer. It's like, I don't know where it is.
Were you working there?
No.
Oh.
I was just a guy. This is recently.
Okay, yeah.
I was just
You
shopping
said you worked
there.
at
Oh yeah, at a grocery store.
Yeah.
No. So he just randomly walked up to me. I was thinking about that later, because I'm like, I feel like, yeah, you could just ask anyone that, and like if you don't speak English, then like, I mean, what else are you gonna do, right? You're gonna say and hope that they understand. Maybe you'll use like, you be like charades, right? You're like trying to like act it out
shrimp.
or something, right?
Charade shrimp.
Right. But it's like, I don't know. I feel like he walked up to me. Why? Like I was thinking, why me? Because there's a bunch of other people here. Why he'd go up to me? I think he thought that I was like Latino. I don't know why, but like I think that's what he must have thought, or he maybe thought like this guy's the more likely person to be a Latino, just based on like profiling me quick. Be like, I don't know. I guess that's what he looks like to me.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's funny. I was thinking about it. I was like, why me? But I don't want to fucking help you, bitch. No. But I look it up. I find out that it's shrimp, and then I have to tell him that I don't know where the shrimp is. So I just told him no sé, which means I don't know. And I realized like that's such a commonly known phrase in Spanish that most people that don't even speak Spanish, they've heard someone say that, or they know no sé is I don't know, just because it's common, right? And so I realized I might have looked like a moron, or who like was a douchebag and too lazy to help him. And I'm just like saying like, oh, I don't know. But like the reality is I actually found out what he was asking me, and my genuine answer was I don't know where the shrimp is. But I was like, I wish that the result was different, because I felt like I came across as probably like a jackass who's like, I don't want to help this guy, fuck you. So I'm like, I don't know. And like, because that's just something you would say to someone if you don't understand them or don't care. You're just like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But the reality is, like, I had seriously investigated because I didn't remember what that word is. I looked out, I translated what you were saying to me. I actually asked myself that question and honestly answered, I don't know where the shrimp, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But then from his perspective, it's probably like, this fucking asshole just doesn't want to help me or something. That's like,
I think I'm in Iowa, dude. I don't know if there's shrimp here.
yeah, I don't know. That's like, it's really, I'm just a moron. I just don't know where to find the shrimp at
Hey,
IB. I don't know.
Probably didn't look like a moron or anything. I've been in other countries where I'm like, "Where's that?" And they just look at you and like, "No, no English." It's like, come on. Remember me and my friend were in Rome at the Vatican. We're like, "Where's the Vatican?" And the guy's like, "Oh, no English." I'm like, "The Vatican." He's like, "No English." The Vatican. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, come on, dude. This is not that big of a country.
No, yeah.
It's like it should be right there. But I just thought he was a dick. But I still remember him to this day. So that guy's probably doing his own little L podcast right now. And
right.
that probably sounded racist.
Oh boy. Rogue's making a move. Rogue's a dog, in case you guys forgot.
Rogue.
Oh no. Okay, there we go.
Go ahead. Just grab. Or I don't want to say too loud. Just come on, buddy. Up there. Come on, buddy.
You're looking for the... This dog is not doing what Matt is saying to do.
Yeah, I'm like whispering English to him. Come on, Rogue. Go over there.
What are you doing? Why are you roguing around?
I wish there was like I wish there was a device where you could like snap into like a full-on one-on-one communication, but for like just 1 minute with your dog.
Oh yeah.
Like when I say sit, this is what I want. When I say stop, this is what I want. Like
yeah.
This is like obvious. Yeah, I don't know. It'd be fun.
Yeah.
You could do that, but I don't know if that technology will be around here when I'm alive or not. Probably not.
I don't know. I don't.
Probably next century.
Probably. I don't like the idea of like communicating for real with your pets, because I'm always worried that like, what if they have consciousness and they're like smarter than I realize they are, right? We just never figured it out. And so yeah, like they're just like, when they look at my balls because I'm like putting clothes on in the morning, they actually like are conscious and aware of like, those are balls, like gross, why is he showing me his balls or something, like,
yeah.
And if they like see me jacking off, they actually know what that is and what I'm doing. Like,
it's so wild to a dog to watch.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to.
What the hell is this guy doing?
Just realized, hang on, I just said that as though my dog's always around when I'm jacking off. That's never the case. I jack off mostly in the bathroom. I just, that is, by the way, everyone wanted to know that. That's what I do. I jack off in the bathroom.
If you're still listening, comment where you jack off.
Yeah, comment where you jack off. And we're not discriminating. Women can say where they masturbate. That's usually they don't call that jacking off. They have all sorts of weird, gross things like flick the bean and all these weird things that make vaginas sound way more disgusting than they actually are.
I just don't want to think about that. No P Diddy, I guess, when I said that though. But I'm on a bit of a no fap, so
yeah, on purpose or just
on purpose.
Okay. Nice,
but.
I kind of went through a period a while back where I just like didn't for a while. I don't know what was it. I think just a lot was changing in my life. I was like exercising a lot, and like I just like, I don't know, just like a lot of stuff was happening, and I think my brain just went into this weird mode where I was just like, that's not a thing I'm focused on. There's just too many.
You're not doing that right now.
Things, or whatever. But then it came back.
Right on.
Yeah.
I ran today for the first time too. I ran once earlier. I ran once March. When it was nice one day, then I was like, all right, I'm gonna start running again. I ran it's like 2 miles in 30 minutes.
Oh
forever. Yeah. And then today I was faster. I was 29 minutes and 40 seconds or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm getting incrementally faster.
Yeah.
But are you still running? You still working out?
Been just walking mostly. So pretty low key. But yeah, I still try to get out there every day, and sometimes like a couple times a day or whatever, and just go on walks and stuff.
Nice.
Do that a lot.
Yeah, I need to start cutting weight. This is be the opposite of growth.
Your shrinkage?
Yeah. Sorry for
your
the shrinkage.
Shrink wrapping people?
Just
I told you to
stop
shrink wrapping bitches.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to do that.
Oh, is that it?
Yeah.
Hey, that's what I got wrong.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try and lose like 30 pounds. I think by maybe June 1st.
Oh yeah. Nice.
June 1st. Yeah. So I'm gonna try and get a little health kick. I don't know if you want to join me on that or not, or do your own thing, but
Right.
it's be a little accountability challenge that we can do every week if you want.
Yeah. I definitely do need to continue. I'm not at the goal that I wanted to hit when I started losing weight a while back. I wanted to go. I was like 220, and I wanted to get down to like 180. And I got down to 200, and I'm still 200 right now.
Nice.
I haven't, like, I got down to 200, like, I don't want to say, well, it was pretty quick. But that's, I mean, honestly, that's, in my experience, that's always how weight loss goes. Like that first little bit, because it's like your body, I don't know if like it's something with your metabolism, or kind of like it's, you know, it's almost like your metabolism's being like reactivated again more or something. And then so all of a sudden it's like, oh shit. And it starts working harder. And then you just like burn more calories just by processing and all that. But then, yeah, it's like something happens, whether that like kind of chills then or something, and then there's an adjustment period where it's like now all of a sudden it just takes extra work. You're not burning as much calories or something, so it's like you have to be more careful on your eating, or you just have to like exercise more to like really burn even more, and when it kind of plateaus, it becomes a little. But I'm also just been kind of lazy lately though. But I've been doing good enough that I've been maintaining. I have not been going way back up again or anything. I've been maintaining my weight, so it's like that's fine. But
Yeah,
but I definitely
want
want
hard
to
with
go.
the weather. The weather just kind of sucks.
Yeah,
Today's like
yeah.
yesterday and today's the first nice days that it was like,
We're like
it's-
purely nice,
Yeah,
where there's no fucking cold wind randomly and stuff like that.
yeah. And I was thinking more about how like today was he's going after that bone. But Hannah and Leaf had the New Year's whatever was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah,
I just thought like I started thinking like, oh, why would the New Year's be then? And it's like I started thinking like, oh, that's a spring season, like life starts coming back to normal and stuff like that.
Right.
And it was kind of like one of those is like I think the first like is spring, like things are good now and stuff like that. So it's kind of like I don't know, it's kind of that's why like Easter and Ramadan and that stuff.
Right.
Passover's all in spring, kind of right before the harvest and all that. So
yeah, that makes
kind of
sense.
makes sense. And the eclipse too. That's what always gets me hyped too. Is have you seen the movie about Mel Gibson in South America with the Aztecs or the Mayans or whatever, Apocalyptico?
I don't think I've seen it. No.
It's about one of those groups. I think maybe the Mayans with the temples, and it's like they would sacrifice people on those temples,
Right.
and they sacrificed them until like there was an eclipse. I don't know if it was that movie. It was
Oh,
some
weird.
sort of movie. But then like when the eclipse happened the other week, or whatever, it's kind of like, oh, like some people knew the eclipse was going to happen then.
Right.
Like it's gonna be a total blackout. We're just gonna kill people until then, and people won't know when it ends. But then you start thinking like from the peasants' point of view, it's like, oh shit, they're just gonna murder us until like we appease the gods.
Right.
But then they knew there was no gods. It was just a calendar. I'm taking him for a couple walks a day too. It's nice again.
Yeah.
Do you ever walk just by yourself?
Yeah.
Oh, do you do?
Yeah.
Do you have headphones in
Oh, okay. If you mean like,
without a dog?
yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah. Without a dog. Yeah, you have headphones in though. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't ever like raw dog it and just go with like, just like walking and being a person, just like listening to the wind or something.
Oh, really? Oh.
I don't usually do
Try
that.
it.
I should.
It's like
Probably.
your Rubik's Cube, not in public.
Yeah.
It's like when you get the Rubik's Cube away and stuff.
Right.
You're just more aware.
Yeah.
That's another thing I was thinking about too, is like how everybody looks at you kind of like you're, because I never wear headphones like at the gym or anything either. Like
Oh,
when I'm
okay.
in public. Like the only time I do is when I'm today when I'm running, but I don't think I want to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Like when I'm rowing or something like that, I'll wear them, or on a treadmill. That's like the only time I'll wear them. Because like I think I want to
interesting.
get away from that. But what was it? Yeah, fuck it. Never mind. It was gonna be some stupid thing. It was gonna sound like a Facebook meme or something like that.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. No,
what was I gonna say? Yeah, I'll delete that.
I like wearing headphones like just in the grocery store and stuff too. I'll just bring them with me, so like I'll have headphones on. I'll get in my car to go to wherever, and then the Bluetooth will transition right from my headset to my car, and I'll continue listening to what I was listening to in the car, and then I get to the grocery store or whatever, and I put my headphones back on and then transfer back to my headphones, and I just keep listening to this thing podcast or whatever.
Unbroken.
I just do. I realize, because I realized a long time ago, I was grocery shopping and I see somebody walking with headphones on or earbuds in or something. And I realized, like, I was like, oh, duh. Why have I never thought of that? Why do I walk around like a psycho through a grocery store for, 40 minutes or whatever, like finding all these groceries you're buying and just listen to the noise of the grocery? Why the fuck wouldn't I entertain myself with, like listening to something? And then so I started doing that. It's like a game changer. It makes grocery shopping. Now, obviously, if you're only getting like a couple items, it almost doesn't feel that worth it because you're like, I'm just going to be in here real quick anyway. It doesn't really matter. But if you're like going through the store and you're going to be there for a while, it's way better to like keep listening to your content that you were enjoying and then just do that. Yeah.
Don't you ever get scared though? Like
that someone's going to sneak up on me?
Or no, not that they literally are sneaking up on you. Because if you have the noise that's why I couldn't remember the gym when I was like lifting, because like you just be sitting there and all of a sudden I might have been like kind of high.
Yeah.
Like smoke a little or something. Like you'll just see something like Jesus.
Right.
Because it's noise canceling and it's, I don't know, that stuff. But even being sober, I think at like a high V would be the same thing.
Yeah. Just like the sense of, I do
feel like you're always on edge, I should say.
Yeah. Yeah. I always, whenever I'm like out and about, if I have like, even if it's cold and I have like a hood that I can put up, or I have a hat that I can wear or things like that, unless it's like I don't know, it's like an actual beanie or something, I suppose, and it's not, but if like hoods kind of come out, they kind of cut off your peripheral a little bit.
Yeah.
And depending on how big the hood is, it might cover a lot of your peripheral. But I hate that feeling of my peripheral being like cut off.
Yeah, like the Kenny.
Yeah,
South Park.
Yeah, exactly like Kenny. I don't like that feeling. So I always like, even if my ears would be less like painful, like in pain because I'm like it's so cold, even if just putting that hood up would like help that and make them warmer, I choose to be in pain because I'm like, I'd rather have my peripheral vision.
How far does your peripheral vision go? If you're staring right at me, take your finger in front of you and just while you're staring at me.
Oh yeah.
When you can't see it, like I'm like right.
Yeah. So extend my arm. Yeah, and I'll.
Right.
I don't think I see it here. As it gets to here,
you're lying.
Okay. But it's like it's such a subtle, faint thing that if I'm not thinking about that, I probably wouldn't see it.
Yeah.
Because I would see it and my brain wouldn't even care. Be like,
Hey, whatever.
Until it gets to whatever. I'm not sure.
Make you look though, I bet. I just did a double take for
yeah.
Start subscribing so we get the video.
This was a really dumb double take. I mean, let's say it like it is. It wasn't a regular double take. I wouldn't have been laughing so much if it was.
What did it look like? Show me what it looked like.
You're like, yeah. like paranoid, like fucking.
Because you saw a finger wiggling over here.
Actually, not even paranoid. You looked like like somebody who's trying to get a commercial gig who sucks at acting, trying to do a double take.
I'm Zoolander in it.
Yeah.
I did do a read for David Collins' show today, so I feel like I was acting.
Yeah. You're like, I'm an actor now.
Yeah, you're right. I got to turn that off. I got called out.
Yeah.
But, I think that's pretty much close to an hour.
Yeah.
All right.
Cool.
Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks for comment about your mama's milkers. All right, bye.